Hello guys, Scotty Senior here. Welcome back to another one. I believe this was round 3, our third race of the new season in the Citroen. Qualified in 11th, number 2 on the door in this one. What does this one hold in store for us? Marky boy getting a poor run from the start straight away, making us want to go for that shit. We're certainly thinking about it, but we've lifted and had a nice big lift, and luckily the guy behind never came in and collected us, but we've survived the first corner, ladies and gentlemen. Mission complete. The hardest part of the race done and dusted and out of our way. 11th place. I can't look behind me. It's jumping back the others. So we'll stay on board with ourselves. Round 3, this was of the new. You do have an option, I think, after this round to change your manufacturers, but I do think I'm going to stick with them. We had a very, very nervous race in this car, the rd3 Citroen, in round 2 at the Red Bull ring. We just had to, we weren't able to push in the car at all. We had to consistently drive really nervously on the throttle with the back end and try and really focus and not drop a wheel on the grass or on the curves, particularly in corner number 1. Corner number 1 was a bit of a nightmare to control the back end with this car, but we managed to do that. A lot more enjoyable for us on this track, for sure. It's still, this corner here in particular, the right hander, this one, it still had a big problem with the back end, always wanting to disappear on you. This one's starting out okay for us at the moment though. What's the pressure like behind us? There is a shitload of pressure on the ass area. My goodness, let's hope that pressure on the ass area does not lead to an explosion in the underpant department, because we know pressure on the ass can make you shit yourself as someone bites the dust and someone else dropping a wheel back on board. I wish I could look behind me now, but we can't do that. Someone hitting the wall. Luckily he's just ghosted. We've nowhere to go. We were very unlucky there. We just had to push him on. So we've dropped down, short shifting again, which is what made us competitive, I feel, in this one. And again he hits the desk again, but does not ghost. Luckily not lots of time lost and no ridiculous silly penalties handed out from Gran Turismo. Mr. Mackey in front of us with Marky in front of him. And we were basically just wanting that car up into 7th gear from the start of this race as soon as we could. And yeah, the Citroen, very similar to the GR4 Citroen, really good in the short shifting department and fuel saving, of course, when you're short shifting. Oh my goodness, how did we hang on to that as we're talking shit? Let's go on board. Our heart must have been in our mouth there. Only lap 3 and we'll get a big kick. Oh my god, Caliber Cray style. Go on son, you held on to that shit. 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10 for catching that. Proud of myself. Oh, and now we're getting squeezed. We do not want to drop down behind you if possible. We knew that was a bit, it wasn't really cheeky, it was aggressive. I was holding it in there. He maybe felt like if we were a very nice person, we might have left it there. So we did give him a wee flash of the hazards after that one. And that bit of excitement has made us forget what we're waffling at. We're talking about the fuel saving. Yeah, obviously when you're short shifting like that there, you have to be saving your tires as well. So it's my kind of car. I feel like this is the kind of cars I like. I don't feel like when I'm pushing and trying to find that ultimate limit. Right now, when I'm trying to find that limit, I'm slower than what I am when I'm just trying to drive safe. I start to miss those apexes here, there and everywhere. Clinging on to 7th in this one. We're definitely going to stay with the Citroen rather than go for a change. I do believe they're allowing you to change after 3 rounds if you want to, because there's an update coming for a new master or something, I think it might be. But I've enjoyed the first 3 rounds. Very nervous, as I say, at the Red Bull ring in this GR3 one, but really enjoyable. It was an enjoyable race there as well, and we can only get quicker in it the more we get the feel of it. Another side by side going on up ahead of us. No doubt one of them will have to back out, and that's another tiny bit of time lost. We're happy just to cling in the slipstream. We were taking that chicane in 7th gear. We were trying to get up even before the first part of the chicane. That's where we changed up into 7th gear. And I say the Citroen really good at maintaining the speed. It seems very good here in this situation coming up this hill, and then once you get up to the top speed, it is struggling. It doesn't really seem to make or gain any time at top speed, but its pulling power out of the corners is very good. Even while short shifting, we're not sure how to drive it at its fastest yet. Hopefully we will see it appear in the top 10 at some point, so we can watch a top guy driving it at its fastest to see where he's changing gear. Very similar to our wee Beetle in terms of the short shifting and how you get the best out of it. For us, our overall speed is clearly still well off the pace, but our consistency is usually always there. He said right before the death chicane. Surely not. Surely not. We wouldn't have said that shit. That would have made a fool out of ourselves. And still, we cling on here. We are opening up a bit of a gap, so there's no pressure mounting up. We'll have a small skip at this part of the race as someone jumps into the pits. That's us up to 6th. The rules in this one, gentlemen, was you had to use all of the tyre makes. So it was one of those races where everyone only wanted to do 1 lap on a set of hards. So anyone who had a real poor qualifying started on the hards because and pitted on the first lap. There was others who got rid of that 1 lap in the middle of the race, and ourselves decided to do it on the last lap when you're at the least amount of risk, because the whole race has been completed. Hopefully everyone has had their crashes, their spins, their incidents, and it'll be more split up than at any other point during the race. That's what we hope for. That's what the brain tells me is the best odds. Although it also tells me the fastest way to go. We played the best odds by starting on the soft tyres, as you can see here as well. Again, we're playing them odds. We're looking to make time. We felt like a lot of these guys, the fastest way to go was to start on the mediums and hang with anyone on a set of softs, get an extra wee bit of speed and be faster at the end. We've decided to go, we've also had a race in the past like this where we've started on the softs and everyone else was on the mediums, which whenever we come into the pits and realised that, we were really disappointed. But because it was so easy to hang with them when they were on the medium tyres in their slipstream, you're able to short shift immensely and you're able to look after the set of softs. And when it came to the pit stops, you are 5 to 6 seconds faster in your pit stop. You have 5 or 6 seconds less amount of fuel, and then you go out, you are on a worse tyre, but you have a 5 or 6 second space behind you and you have no pressure on the ass on slightly slippier tyres, so you have at least a lap or two of no pressure. And that's kind of what we have went for here as well, and what we're hoping for here. I think it's time to have that skip and continue with it until things happen. We're up into the top 5 at the moment. More guys must have come into the pits. Is there more? We're jumping in now. In we come, and we'll watch this team at work. Outstanding work yet again for us. We're not too fussed on their gear, the red and white. We'd prefer that to be green or black, or even pink, but we don't think we're going to get them to change their mind. They just laughed at us when we brought that up at the board meeting, and we have dropped back to 10th position, but into a nice wee gap, no pressure. Immediately behind us, we haven't fell out too bad there. That's actually Happy behind us there at the moment. Happy having a bit of a nightmare in this one. Back on board with ourselves. Another small skip. If any incidents happen, we'll go back and have a juke. More people into the pitch now. We did not have to add fuel, or did we? We made a lot of time, as I say, 5 or 6 seconds. I think we did add fuel, or if it was a different race I was thinking of. Apologies, gentlemen. Up to 4th. Onwards with the skip. And jump outside, because there is a bit of pressure coming behind us. Does he get a run? Does he get a run? No, he doesn't go for it. But we're wanting Marky to get a run on us here. We felt like at one stage, perhaps right here, that he didn't want it, as he nudged the back of us, but at the last minute we did see him swinging as if he maybe has just mistimed it. But we kind of wanted him to get this done and dusted on us. We were slower worrying about him, but the opportunity on the track has not arrived for us, where we felt like we were going to lose virtually no time. And you can see there is time being lost because of this. The guy, Mr. Pancho, or Panchola, Rafa, we're going to call you Rafa, mate, forget about that second one. But yeah, Mr. Rafa has closed up on the pair of us pretty quick. We were a bit worried at this stage of the race. We were thinking Marky may well be getting a bit frustrated, and he now needs to get past us, because he's about to have a move through on him as the guy behind just done and dusted. Is it done and dusted? They're side by side. I've had to back out of that one. But to have managed to survive, it has given us a bit of a gap. We're up to second position, gentlemen, second position. Would you believe it? However, there will be guys who have had that one lap on the hard tyre in the middle of the race as someone else comes into the pits, Mr. Rafa. Back on board. Another small skip. Does the pressure start to build yet again? We still have a pit stop to do on the last lap. I feel like it was a good steady drive. We haven't made any mistakes. I feel like here there's a point coming up here where we've lost a bit of time. And it was a bit of a miscommunication. We did think in our head, I wish I could look behind me now, but we did think in our head at this point of the race that these guys weren't in our battle. We're not actually in a race with Marky. And you see on the way in this one, we'll give a nice big lift and try to give it to him, and he wasn't really fully aware what we were doing, so a bit of time lost there for both of us, as he was trying to be nice and I was trying to be nice, and we've lost 2 spots there. So that was really the only disappointing thing in the race. We realised after this that only one of these guys, not sure who it was, but only one of them was actually not in the battle with us. If we had have put up a fight there and continued, to fight for that position, then it might have gave us an extra spot at the end of this one. But again, very, very small thing to happen to you in a race. All round it was what we can do. Was at a personal best in the qualifying after having 2 or 3 practices at it just before the race. Fourth position and no pressure on the ass area, but starting to look behind us and try to see on that map. We know we're going to be losing 9-10 seconds of a loss at the start of the last lap. As Mackie hits the death chicane and we're up into the top 3. I think it was here we realised the guy behind us, Mackie, who would lift it to let by, he was in our race. We didn't realise, we thought he was in the race further on up. Back on board, skip round through the death chicane one more time, and then one scurry lap left to go on a set of cold, hard tyres. How far was it going to drop us back? In we came. Luckily there was no wheel nuts dropped that day, and we came out in the top 5. There was rumours that the sexy liveries were starting to mount up in Tom's garage. It's been so long from we've had a top 5, so surely we're going to want to fight for this one on the last lap. Over, going defensive, trying to discourage him from launching one. He's got a bit of a drive on us, but we're in the inside. We've got that line, surely that's been defended. And here we're just trying to, we're terrified. Cold hard tyres. We're just parking that big slow ass on the apex. As you see here, he's got an immense run on us. And again we'll go ultra defensive and just try and park that big slow car on the apex, and yet again we've survived it. He doesn't get a run on us. Almost collected there on the last lap, if you see that there from on board. Our heart was in our mouth there coming into this one. We sent him to the outside of us, but our back end went on us and he drove well, not even to collect us. On the exit of it, our back end starts to go, and his nose, you can't even see his nose, but in the race I can see his nose because that stupid black screen at the bottom isn't there. There was a small piece of contact, and again he's got a run on us. The last corner, the last lap, we've got our nose there. Surely we can't throw that shit away. And lovely driving from the both of us. Let's watch that from the outside view as well and see just how nice looking that was from the outside view. Holy Toledo, Rafa, he's trying to go right round the outside, and Scotty Senior says no, and he slammed the screen door right in his face. Very fair driving, but a silly Gran Turismo penalty. I had to jump back on board as soon as we just about nicked him. You see, as soon as we realised no need for a penalty there, absolutely fair there, both of us drove nice. But we see us moving away from him as soon as we seen that penalty. We were terrified that Rafa was going to flip out and try and slam us into the pits or something, but he didn't. Well done, Rafa, nice one. Thanks, gentlemen, catch us the next time.